This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Conor Benn never had the chance to have a hearing before the fight. They just sat on it, made their decision, leaked it to the press, and then on we went.
For a number of weeks, which they did, and then they only decided to act on it when supposedly the article came out.
No, not true. They
So
leaked
when
the
did
article.
they
They announced their decision, and I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later, it all came out in the media.
Okay, so Eddie Hearn has just done an interview with TalkSport, link in the description box as always, as per the source. Now, of course, they're talking about many different subjects, one of them, the Conor Benn situation. Now, he did say that you have to be careful what he says. All the information will come out shortly, okay? He kept talking about trace amounts and whatever else. Okay, that's for another subject. But we've been talking about, well, who leaked it to the press for quite some time? Some people are saying Chris Eubank Sr. and other people are saying that, I don't know, Emily Eubank. Okay, people just coming out with names. Maybe that person leaked it to the press because they felt the fight shouldn't be taking place. Conor Benn was cheating. Or maybe somebody was doing it as a rival of Matchroom or whatever for their own ends, okay? Ultimately, we didn't know the answer. And the reason why we was asking it is because all tests are supposed to be kept private and confidential until the process is complete. In other words, you can't hang somebody until they're found guilty. You have to give them a chance to process to prove their innocence before you leak it out to the press, because otherwise it damages their reputation, okay? This is what we had when it came to Dillian Whyte and UCAD prior to the Oscar Rivas fight, okay? We had all that situation, but somehow it leaked to the press through that Thomas Hauser fella, but we shouldn't have known about it. Now, whether you agree with that protocol or not, we shouldn't know about any of it until the process is complete. Eddie Hearn in this TalkSport interview said it was the British Boxing Board of Control who leaked it to the press. So, of course, when we're seeing like his articles, of course, I'm doing the breaking news videos and everything about it's now out in the press, Conor Benn has failed a test and the British Boxing Board of Control only made the decision to pull themselves out of the fight because the press found out about it, and Eddie Hearn pulled the show because the board weren't online, and because it came out in the press, had the press not have known about it, the fight would have went ahead, yada, yada, yada. Okay, again, because that's what we presumed. Okay, not what we knew, what we presumed of how the manuscript was going along, right? Now, for the British Boxing Board of Control to leak it to the press, so firstly, VADA, they don't hand out punishments or anything like that, okay? They will do the test, they will give the results to the promoter, i.e. two promoters, in this instance, Eddie Hearn, Kalle Sauerland, as in Wasserman and Matchroom. They'll let the fighters know, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, and the British Boxing Board of Control, who of course were sanctioning the bout. Now, the British Boxing Board of Control were using UCAD. Conor Benn passed all UCAD, so there's no issues as far as UCAD is concerned. VADA, they just do their job of just testing, put out the results, okay? For the board to put it out in the press, isn't that going against some kind of protocol? I mean, in some ways, no, because it's not their protocol, because he didn't fail a UCAD test. Had he failed a UCAD test, the board probably wouldn't have put it out there. Maybe. But because it was UCAD, well, there you go. Now, quite why the board put it out in the press, I don't know. Why didn't they just come out and say, we are not going to sanction this fight because we've just found out that Conor Benn has failed a VADA test. But at the same time, they're saying how they don't recognise VADA. So why did they do it? I mean, did they do it for money? I don't know. Did they do it for a way to justify pulling out of the fight? Or did they wait for public reaction for a few hours or whatever? Because again, apparently, according to Eddie Hearn, if I heard it correctly, the board knew about it 8 days prior to making their decision. Now, quite why they waited all that time to make a decision is on you to decide. Okay, maybe they were waiting for some kind of feedback and more information from VADA and whatever else. Maybe that's what they were doing, okay? Because as Eddie Hearn says, there's no real process. Now, of course, a lot of people say, but we have a right to know, we are the public, if there's a failed test and one fighter may have an advantage over the other one due to some PED use, we have a right to know about it. That's a fair answer. It is the fair answer, okay? It's a public event where the public are attending, the public are watching, and a lot of people place bets. What you don't want to be doing is placing a bet, not knowing that there's an opponent there with a potential advantage. Now, I don't know enough about the substance to know whether or not that is an advantage. Some people are saying that it's a way of masking some performance-enhancing drugs. Other people are saying that it's for to increase testosterone and whatever else. Of course, questions about the doctor. It's a hell of a mess. Hopefully, everything gets clarified real soon. But for the board to leak it to the press, is that low? Is that a low-life thing to do? As per the rules, you probably have to say yes. But in other ways, no. Did they do the right thing? Yeah. But personally, I think that the board should have just announced it themselves. They didn't have to go to the press with it, because had they just announced it themselves, then the press would have picked up on it anyway. So why just go directly to that specific paper? Why? Do they have a good relationship with that specific paper? Do they get paid for information? I don't know. But anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.